Ever since Maya went online and started the discussion about anti-blackness, it feels like Pandora's box has been opened and no one has been able to close it ever since. Now, this conversation is clearly not going away anytime soon, which is why we need to find a solution to it real fast. To achieve liberation for everyone involved, we need solidarity, empathy, understanding, and influential voices, not just within communities, but also on social media. Because Maya's impact is a testament, that is to show the power of social media in shaping discussions, given her following and influence. That is the reason why we are talking about her in the first place. Now, social media's role in shaping the landscape cannot be underestimated. This is why today's conversation is going to be focused around that aspect. As for finding for a solution, we are still working on that. So please leave your thoughts in the comment section and share what you think should be done in relation to this discussion. Let me play you the streamline. See you on the flip side.
Roster is correct, but the abandoners is not. And we need to make sure that we know the difference between these divisive, anti-black, do-nothing talking heads on this app and the actual Palestinian American organizers on the ground. They are not the same. I promise you, those Palestinian American organizers that are actually doing the work on the ground, if they had the influence of Maya, these outcomes would have been different. Because those organizers understand how this government works. Those organizers understand how to create positive change within this government to benefit marginalized lives. Those Palestinian American organizers are not like Maya at all. And we cannot allow them to suffer for organizing and engaging in this political process, and that is their right because they are American citizens. This is their government too. And what this government is doing to their people must be acted on diligently, and they are doing the work. It is very unfortunate that those organizers do not have the influence that Maya has, because we'd all live better lives if they did. It's unfortunate that people that are organizing for Black lives on the ground do not have the influence that Amaya has, because we would all be living better lives if we did. The Palestinian American organizers on the ground are not the enemy of the United States. They don't want to burn down. They are trying to create safe places so they can live free, liberated lives, just like my Black ass is trying to do. We need to make sure that we always recognize the difference between the divisive bull that comes out of the mouths of people like Maya and the hard work that is being done by Palestinian American organizers. They are not the same. Please do not forget that. Because those Palestinian lives, they matter too. And those Palestinian American organizers are not doing anything that I wouldn't do to save my people's lives. I honor them. I stand by them. They are not our enemy.
On TikTok, in this political space, you will have seen the back and forth between Black activists and Palestinian activists on this electoral moment. And the conversation is really, really important to be had. And I'm so glad that people are actually paying attention to politics. As someone who's been an organizer for 15 years, where most people have not paid attention, a couple of truths that I think are really important to point out to underscore that it is so important for us not to be in opposition with each other, but rather in solidarity with one another, because there is a history for this, that within the civil rights movement, there was a lot of interconnectedness between the Palestinian liberation movement and civil rights movements. This is how you had someone like Angela Davis, and you still have someone like Angela Davis still being so outspoken for Palestinian liberation. During the Black Lives Matter movement, you had Palestinian organizers literally training educating people who are on the ground in the United States on how to deal with state-sanctioned violence, but also even using art like murals to stand in solidarity with Black organizers in the United States. In apartheid South Africa, you had solidarity between the liberation fronts in South Africa, the Black liberation fronts in South Africa, and Palestinian organizers who understood the parallels between those realities. We are fighting against white supremacy. We are fighting against colonialism. We are fighting against the same.
I think I realize why so many people are mad at Black people. I think I see why so many people are so upset with us. Because a lot of those folks, they expect Black suffering. They don't expect us to prioritize ourselves and our safety. They expect to snap their fingers and receive servitude. They expect to clap their hands a few times and we just appear to perform activism the way they would like us to do that. They don't expect us to look out for ourselves or for each other. They don't expect a world of nuance that is Black people. What they're used to and are afraid to admit is servitude. They see a Black person in active service who have chosen to be an active service of humanity, and they expect that. They want to frame what that service should look like and how that service should be performed. Never mind that they automatically take out the humanity and the agency from the Black person who is performing these acts. Because if you look at a Black person the same way you look at a snack machine, and when it doesn't give you the snack that you immediately want, you start beating on it, then of course you're going to be upset when you watch Black folks start to prioritize ourselves. Of course you're going to try to manufacture a beef, which to be honest, I still feel like it's an inside job and somebody's influencer got paid for that. So I hope the check was good, because you're out here messing with things that you don't need to be messing with. But back to what I'm talking about. I think we need to get to this place where we don't expect people to show up in the service that we want them to, but we expect them to show up in service the way they are called to. Speaking specifically for Black folks who've had to fight for our humanity in ways that few other groups have. Notice I said few and not none. Just wanted to highlight that. So I think it becomes easier to beat down on Black people when you don't expect them to be human, when you only expect them to serve you, to perform for you, and to dance for you, and to cook and clean for you. See how that's starting to sound? Black folks are not a monolith. We are allowed to engage in our own agency. We are allowed to use our voices how we choose to. And after all we've been through, the last folks anyone has any right to call colonizers or any other hateful derivative is Black folks. Put some respect on our names. We're the ones who gave you the language of liberation and showed you the way forward in community. Now, can we move along so we can actually help some people?
The thing that has me tweaking out today about this whole third party, vote for Kamala, vote for Trump, free Palestine discourse is the fact that some of y'all do not care about Palestinians. The Palestinians were like, you can raise money this way, you can give me resources that way, hear my stories, witness what is happening to us. And then somewhere along the way, y'all just lost the plot and started saying, oh, we need to suffer with them. Yes. Vote third party for these candidates that nobody's really looking into, or that nobody's ever heard of before, or that just popped up like 3 months ago, 6 months ago at best, or that one loser girl who comes around every election and literally does nothing but lose. But then you want to jump on Black people for saying, you know what, I am hopeful about Harris's presidency and I might just vote for her. Might! And y'all jumping on us! And none of y'all are Black.
And this is 100% a perfect example of how you talk over somebody marginalized. Proving exactly my point from that last video. That y'all don't want us to stand up for ourselves. You want us to stand up for everybody else. You call us when it's time to put on the pink hats, or march with cardboard signs, or when you need a good speaker, or when you need some social capital. But just as soon as we start talking about ourselves, and things for ourselves, and things we would like to see for us in our community, y'all start talking over us, which is the point of that video. So thank you so much for being the teachable moment and for being the example. Nobody's minimizing any points that were made in some of those videos that we watched. Unfortunately, the only thing that I saw minimized in a lot of those videos that we watched was the minimization of our humanity. It is ridiculous and deplorable considering the history of Black Americans in this nation to look at us and call us colonizers. It is harmful, it is dangerous, it is detrimental, especially especially to these bonds that we are making with other people. We can want the freedom for everybody while still protecting us in our communities. The problem is too many of y'all on social media want black and white when there's a world of nuance in between. There's a world of intersectionality that needs to exist when we have these conversations. And y'all aren't allowing us to have that, which proves my point. You continue to treat us like your social justice mules. Let me snap my fingers so you can perform activism for me. You could tell me the cool things to say. I can use a little bit of your AAVE to sprinkle in some cool cultural capital points. But then when our community really needs something, where is everybody? Where's everybody? Maybe instead of speaking over us, you should listen to us. Otherwise, you are exactly proving our point. Now, could we please get back to helping other people?
Watermelon people, all Palestinians are anti-black. Whoa. Let's pause for a second. You are saying that all Palestinians are a monolith. When you're saying these things, you are saying that this ethnic group all has the same opinions and viewpoints on things. And don't we hate it when other folks and other people out here say that we all have the same opinions and viewpoints on things? Just keep this in mind. Palestinians aren't a monolith, just like how we aren't a monolith. As a matter of fact, no ethnic group, no racial identity is a monolith. However, this is a big however, there are an abundance of white folks that make what I'm saying seem to. But wait, I can't end the video here because I know my people very well. Someone will accuse me of downplaying anti-blackness with this video. And I want you to know that's not what I'm doing at all. When people throw on the term anti-blackness and can't identify what was anti-black in said conversation, then that's called weaponizing their identity. However, oh my God, this is the biggest however I will ever say on this app. There are definitely anti-black conversations happening in these conversations. You feel me? The condescension, the talking down to, the lack of understanding where they're coming from, all things that can stem from anti-blackness, things that can stem from you being taught one way or another that we are inferior to you. And I have been saying those things in these conversations. And this ain't even a want. What I need y'all to do, what I need all of us to do is to change our approaches. Because ever since that comment switch happened, not gonna hold you, it's been terrible. I told y'all that black liberals were coming like a few weeks ago, and then that Garfield Dorito dude did all that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta lead with empathy and understanding if you're gonna have combos with black liberals. And I know it is so hard to do that at times. But hey, it's what you gotta do, man. It's what you gotta do. And no, red triangle in the comment sections of this video as I'm speaking right now, I'm not hand-holding liberals, okay? I'm just keeping it real with y'all, because apparently no one else will. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I've been dealing with this shit for years. Y'all just started doing this shit a few weeks ago. You feel what I'm saying? Like, listen, truly. Can you listen to what I'm trying to drop some sauce here. I'm trying to drop some knowledge here a little bit.
Let me just start off by saying that when the community or your school knows you as a good boy or as a good person, you're gonna influence in that manner. The teachers love you that way. Your fellow students or pupils love you that way as a good boy or girl at school. And immediately when you start breaking the rules, it's like you've done something bad. Like at times, you might not even break the rules as such. Sometimes you may just come late for class and people are like, wow, you also do that? You know how that feels? Or sometimes when you do something that people say is bad in terms of the school rules or the guidelines or the community, you know, people start perceiving you as a nuisance now. They start perceiving you as somebody who's an outlaw now. And you know how it feels on your subconscious? It feels bad. It feels terrible. It feels like you're now becoming a monster. Like if you've experienced what I'm talking about, you know exactly where I'm drawing my points from. That aspect of you used to be a good person, but now you are a tyrant. That's exactly how it feels to be black, especially in the black community, because you've always been in solidarity with the watermelon people and all other marginalized communities. But now that you want to prioritize your needs, you want to center yourself in a discussion and in a movement, people are now perceiving you as the bad one. You are now a rogue somehow. That's exactly how it feels now. And that's the unfortunate part. And that's the reason why it feels like this discussion kind of sounds like to some black people, they're incomprehensible. Because some black people feel like these discussions are not needed in the first place. I remember one black person said that black people are the backbone of every society and community. No society can thrive or survive without them, right? Some people were like, as much as that is true, but you gotta understand that it happened in the sense of force. It happened in the sense of against black people's will. Because these people understand exactly how to build and set up a society or a community. They need black people's help. And what did they do? They went in pursuit of slaves. That's the whole problem of being in solidarity with the watermelon people that I find conflicting. I'm not saying that anybody out there should not be in solidarity with the watermelon people. In most African countries, we have them as part of our communities. So we have no problem standing in solidarity with them. But the problem comes in when the aspect of you not drawing a line, right? Like there are limitations to everything. So if you're going to set yourself on fire, like I always say, to serve or to keep others warm, then you have a problem. You have a problem with the creator, and you have a problem also keeping up with life and also trying to sustain yourself, because you're going to deplete your resources in the process of trying to keep somebody else warm. That's the reason why I love black people that understand what is happening exactly here, because they understand that lines have to be drawn, because we've always done this, like throughout history. This is exactly what African leaders are doing with the West. They are burning our resources and keeping the West warm. They are taxing us, the citizens, paying high costs of everything simply because we are trying to keep the West warm. Just think about this for a moment. We get our own resources from the earth using our own manual labor and energy, which wastes a lot of fuel. And we take it to the West and give them at a cheaper or even at a free cost. What are we doing? We are burning our resources and keeping them warm. So you gotta understand that a social contract was created. A social contract that is not physical but psychological, manipulative in a way. The same thing can be said about the watermelon community. The reason why this solidarity is shaking is because we never addressed that issue, that oppression that they committed to black people. So somehow it is still ingrained in their subconsciouses. The problem is that we haven't addressed that aspect of this narrative. We are still trying to be in solidarity with the colonizer, an enslaver in a way, right? And as much as we are trying to do that, it's the same thing as being in alliance with a lion. A lion is going to turn against you once it gets hungry. No matter how much you tame a lion, when it's hungry and wants to feed, that nature of a wild animal is going to come out. Right. Now, the thing is that people usually are smart about it and they feed at regular intervals of time. So we rarely hear of that, right? But we've heard of people that have gotten unalived by lions that they tamed, or that they tried to domesticate a wild animal, they got unalived by it. So in a way, we tried to domesticate this anti-blackness and became in solidarity with the colonizer, but we never addressed previous or past issues. And because of this narrative, in conclusion, let me highlight the importance of building a genuine solidarity once again between the watermelon community and the black community. But this time, while also acknowledging the past injustices that the watermelon community committed. So social media influencers possess substantial reach and impact. They can use their platforms to highlight the shared struggles of black people and Palestinians, emphasizing common experiences of oppression and resistance through thoughtful content, including educational posts, discussions, and collaborations with activists from both communities. Now, influencers can foster awareness and empathy among their followers. By showcasing stories of mutual support and solidarity, they can encourage their audiences to engage in meaningful dialogue and actions that promote unity. You see, influencers can set a positive example by actively engaging and supporting in joint initiatives between black people as well as Palestinian organizations. They can organize and participate in campaigns, these campaigns that address mutual concerns such as human rights violations and social justice issues. Because right now what we are doing, we're just furthering the divide. So I think that what should be established right now is a relationship of mutual respect and understanding. As every relationship in marriage has got principles that both partners adhere to in the marriage. And if those principles are not followed, the marriage crashes. Hence we have divorce and separations and all that. So I think social media promoters, activists, influencers, everybody who's got a social media following from either communities should start advocating for a solidarity that is genuine. But solidarity cannot be genuine if past wrongs are not talked about. So somebody has to start this discussion. Or at least that's my take and that's what I think. I think this can be a good solution or a good start. But with that being said, leave your thoughts in the comments and tell me what you think about this. I'll see you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.